Hello students, today we are going to start the next chapter of the biology, that is the biological classification, and this chapter is from the 11th class. Yes, this chapter is of the first unit of the biology and its number is second. So what is biological classification? Biological classification is the classification of organisms into different kingdoms. But why the need was created to classify the organisms into different kingdoms? Yes, as you know, there is a huge amount of biodiversity on the earth, and there are different type of organisms and different type of plants also. So it is not easy to remember for human beings. They can recognize or identify each and every organism separately in one glance only. You can see here I have written there is 1.2 million animals on the earth and 0.5 million plants on the earth, and according to Robert May there is about 7 million species on the earth. So how it is possible for the human beings that it can easily say these are the ruminants, these are the carnivores, these are the omnivores, and further these carnivores, herbivorous, omnivorous is further classified on the basis of their characteristics. So it was not easy to remember all the things in one place. So it was decided to distinguish organisms on the basis of their characteristics. It means to identify the characteristics, according to them you have to classify them into separate kingdoms. Okay, so father of the biology and zoology is the Aristotle, that is considered as the father of biology as well as zoology, is Aristotle, who classified the organisms into two categories, first time in plants and in animals. Okay, he just gave the on the basis of, we can say, morphological characteristics. He consider only the morphological characteristics, that is the external characteristics, and divide the plants into herbs, shrubs and trees. Yes, herbs are the small type of plants that is on the land. We can say that is creeps on the lands also. They do not have the hard stems also, and shrubs are, we can say, the medium height plants, and trees are the woody plants. So plants are divided into three categories: herb, shrubs and trees, while as animals is divided into two categories: anemia, that means which lack the RBC, and anemia which have the RBC, that means on the presence of the blood, because the organisms which have the RBC, their color of the blood is red, while the organisms which lack the RBC, we can say their color of the blood is, they are colorless. After that, scientists think that it is not, we can say, not say we can just classify the into these two types. We need to study these organisms deeply, morphological as well as cytologically. So further studies were started and two kingdom system was given. Two kingdom system was given by Carl Linnaeus in 1758. Yes, Carl Linnaeus divided the organisms into two categories, plants and animals, but he just identified the characteristics. Yes, plants have the cell wall, but the scientists do not know about the composition. He just distinguished the characteristics only. Plants have the cell wall, they do not show the locomotion, and they do not have the contractile vacuoles, while as animals lack the cell wall, can show the locomotion, and I have mentioned here the plus sign, that means they can show the locomotion and that they are having the contractile vacuoles. These plants that comes under the two kingdom concepts, it includes all the flowering plants, all the angiosperms, gymnosperms, algae, fungi, all these things will considered only in this plant kingdom. And remaining animals which can show the locomotion, have the contractile vacuole, comes under animalia. So number of limitations were arise of the two kingdom concept, that these do not consider the lichens, either they will comes in plants or animals. Do not consider the euglena, it will comes in the plants or animals. Does not consider even the bacteria and the sponges. So these are the organisms that is not considered under the two kingdom system classification, and to recover these limitations, three kingdom concept was given, and this three kingdom concept was given by the Ernest Haeckel. I have mentioned here Ernest Haeckel in the 1860. He divided the organisms into three categories: Animalia, plant, and Protista. Animalia are multicellular organisms and eukaryotic in nature, means multicellular made up of more than one cells, and eukaryotic means they are showing the characteristics of the eukaryotes, like we can say these have the cell organelles, and these have the cell organelles, these have the cell membranes also. These are multicellular. Plants are considered multicellular as well as eukaryotic. But third kingdom was the Protista. Yes, this is the new kingdom at that time. Protista include the unicellular organisms, but it is eukaryotic in nature. Yes, but this Protista at that time include algae, fungi, and bacteria also. That was the limitation of that kingdom. So what was the limitations of the three kingdom concept? It does not distinguish between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Okay, how can you say these type of organisms come under the eukaryotes and these are the prokaryotes? That means he does not specify the criteria for the differentiation of the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. Secondly, he also considers the bacteria heterotrophic bacteria. He does not classify the heterotrophic bacteria and the fungus. That means he do not know about the how can he differentiate the bacteria from the fungus. Although both are the decomposers. So after the three kingdom concept, next fourth kingdom concepts was arise. That was given by the Copeland in 1956. Yes, according to this kingdom, there are the four kingdoms. Monera, firstly the Animalia was there, Plantia was there, Protista was there. That means new kingdom was the Monera. But Copeland arranged these kingdoms from the simplicity to the complexity. That means it includes the Monera, which include unicellular organisms. Yes, that is made up of only one cell. And he told the Monera include only prokaryotic organisms. Prokaryotic organisms, he told that the organisms which have the genetic material but that is not covered by the nuclear membrane, that is the nucleoid. If nucleoid is found in these are known as the prokaryotes. And these cell organelles like the mitochondria, Golgi body, ribosomes are absent in these. So these are the characteristics that are shown by the Monera. Monera having the 70s ribosomes. You can say prokaryotes have 70s ribosomes, eukaryotes have 80s ribosomes. Cell organelles are absent in Monera, cell organelles are present in the eukaryotes. Monera, we can say prokaryotes have the single circular chromosome, whereas the multicellular organisms, eukaryotes, have different number of chromosomes. Now Protista, that is considered the unicellular organisms, but it is eukaryotic in nature. Why? Because it has some cell organelles. Plants are eukaryotic in nature, but still it includes the algae and fungi, so it does not distinguish the algae and fungi. That was the limitation of the Plantia. And Animalia are eukaryotic in nature. These are multicellular organisms, can show the locomotion and have the contractile vacuoles also. So this is your two kingdom, three kingdom, and four kingdom concept. Students, now after discussing the fourth kingdom concept, we are going to start the five kingdom concept. This kingdom was given by the R.H. Whittaker. Yes, in the 1969, R.H. Whittaker discovered and given this five kingdom concept, which will cover all of the limitation of the first kingdoms. What was the basis of this five kingdom concept? Yes, R.H. Whittaker considered the cell structure, cell type, type of reproduction, what type of nutrition, and we can say presence of membrane and the number of cells. These are the basis on the basis of which R.H. Whittaker divided the five kingdom concepts. Yes. So I have made a table here. What are these five kingdoms? First is Monera, second is Protista, third is fungus, fourth is Plantia, and fifth is Animalia. And you have to learn this only in this sequence, because R.H. Whittaker divided the kingdoms and arranged these kingdoms from the simplest organism to the complex organisms. So as we go from this to this type, the complexity, yes, if we will go horizontally, then complexity will be increased. Yes, so most simple organisms is the Monera. After that, complex is Protista, then the fungus, and the most complex organisms on the earth today is the animals. So what are the bases? First is the cell. Yes, Monera is prokaryotic in nature, that is made up of only one cells. Protista are eukaryotic in nature. Fungus is also Plantia, and Animalia is eukaryotic in nature. So what are the criteria to distinguish the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes? Prokaryotes are the unicellular, eukaryotes are the multicellular. Prokaryotes have the nucleoid, eukaryotes do not have nucleoid, they have the nucleus. Prokaryotes have the 70S ribosomes, eukaryotes have 80S ribosomes. Prokaryotes lack the cellular release, eukaryotes have the cellular release. So these are some of the characteristics on which this cell type is differentiated and different kingdoms have been distinguished. Second is the cell wall. Yes, Monera have the cell wall, and that cell wall is made up of polysaccharides and the amino acids. If you see the polysaccharide, yes, these are made up of peptidoglycan, that means peptide plus glycan. These polysaccharides and along with amino acids. Monera have polysaccharides, amino acids, and teichoic acids. While as Protista, in some it will present and most of it is absent. In fungus, cell wall is present, made up of chitin. And in plants, it is present and made up of cellulose, pectin, and hemicellulose. Where in the animals, cell wall is absent. Third is the nuclear membrane. Only prokaryotes are there, that is considered as a prokaryotic in nature. Yes, Monera is there, that is considered prokaryotic. And why? Because these have the nucleoid. So I can mention here nucleoid means these do not have nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane absent in Monera, and in the remaining four kingdoms nuclear membrane is present. That is why these four kingdoms have the nucleus, not the nucleoid. Next is the reproduction. Yes, in Monera, asexual and sexual both type of reproduction will take place. In Protista also asexual and sexual. But if we will say the fungus, in fungus vegetative, asexual and sexual, three type of reproduction will take place. While as in plants, asexual, sexual. In animals, sexual type of reproduction is there. So if we say the nutrition is of two type, either autotrophic or heterotropic. So in Monera, autotrophic is also two type, chemotropic and the phototropic. Both will take place in Monera. Heterotropic means parasitic and saprotropic will also there. In parasites, we can say in Protista, autotrophic and heterotropic both type of nutrition is there. In fungus, mainly heterotropic nutrition is there. In plants, autotrophic and heterotropic. In plants, insectivorous plants are there that can show the heterotropic nutrition. Otherwise, all the plants are autotrophic in nature. In Animalia, it is heterotropic. That means nutrition is mainly of heterotropic in type. If we just cell type, yes, Monera is unicellular, Protista is unicellular, fungus is multicellular except the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is unicellular fungus. Plantia have tissue and organs, and Animalia have organ system level organization, that means have all the organs. So what are the nutrition? Yes, these nutritions are parasites or the saprotropic. Parasites are the organisms which can take their food from the living host, and saprotrophs are the organisms which can take their food from dead, decaying matter. So if it is parasitic in nature, organism will take their food from living host. If it is saprotropic in nature, that means organisms will take their food from dead and decaying matter. So according to this, autotrophic means the organisms make their food by themselves, but it is divided into two types. They are making the food from the chemicals, then it is chemotropic in nature like the sulfur bacteria. And next we can say phototropic, the plants which make their food in the presence of sunlight, then it is phototropic in nature. Thank you.